Hello everyone, my name is Rodion. I'm Confusion developer. I would like to make a video about how to make simple CRUD application with Lucee and Framework One. First, I would like to tell a bit about Framework One itself. It's a very small but very neat piece of code, one of the best code I've seen. It's a framework written by Sean Corfield, very known in Confusion community. I'm using this Framework One for years and I'm quite happy with it. It's minimal, it's not giving you a lot of bells and whistles, but it gives you one of the main things the application should have is its structure. What's the purpose of frameworks in general? I imagine big old legacy application usually as a messy room that is have all things everywhere and everything like on this picture. Things are here, things there. There is no place for new things to come and be placed, so new things are also dropped somewhere on the floor, and everything is not looking good and not easy to find. It has strange connections. If you pull one thing, other fell off. So this is basically big old application after a while. If you write something more complex than a Hello World application, then you definitely need some order, some agreement on how to place things. And framework allows you to make your application look more like this: organized IKEA wardrobe where you can place your things and neatly and find everything. Everything has its place. It has room for adding new things, and it's predictable. It's have things, not make unnecessary connection between each other. So this is frameworks are for in general. So regarding Framework One, it's easy one file framework that can be added to a new application, and it gives you a set of not even XML files or some configuration files, but rather a convention on how to place files and where they will be stored in order to have everything in its place. And what's also good about Framework One, it immediately it sets MVC pattern, model view controller pattern for your application. So let's get started. What I have on development machine is a Lucee server 5.3 at the moment, and I have some Apache front-end for this, and I created a folder for my future application. For now it's empty folder, so obviously Lucee throws the error. First, I would like to create an index file. Empty index file will do. So the page is clear. Then to start using Framework One, I need to download zip archive with or make a clone from from GitHub, and I would need only this one folder called framework. Inside this folder there's a bunch of files, and main interesting for us is this one.cfc, which is the framework itself. So we will need application CFC, which will be descendant of the framework. So what is it? Let's give it a name. So this is the minimal setup for the Framework One application. Let's run it. Index CFM, for example. Oops. Yeah, it's too fast. Okay. As we see now, once we had application CFC extending Framework One, we immediately have some error that comes from this Framework One. It says that it cannot find a view. First, before digging into this, I would like to describe how in general it happens. So, Framework One is a MVC framework, convention-based. What's mean convention-based? That we don't have XML files or JSON files or any other configuration files. We have already formal and well-known structure describing well-known form of describing a structure is a file system. We already have a file system which can allow to have folders and files, and Framework One expects us to name folders and files in specific way so that framework can find these views or models or controllers. Everything should be just placed in proper folders. So this is convention based. MVC, of course, model view controller. And the minimal setup Framework One expects from us is a view. To make this happen, first let's describe how a structure is addressed, how files are addressed in Framework One application. First we have entry point, an index CFM file, which is empty and never will be filled with anything, just empty index CFM. Then index CFM with parameter action main default. This first part of the action variable is a so-called section, and the second part is so-called item. So this is section. Yep. And this is item. Sections is a groupings of your files. Let me tell this way. Section is a business logic group. For example, if you have a list of employees, and inside this section you have CRUD operation, list, then employees, view, for example, view employee number 1, or you have form to add an employee, or you have action to, or let's call it save employee and delete, for example, first employee. Yeah. So this way we have a group of actions, and inside this group we have sub-action. In terms of Framework One, it's called section and item. And this variable, it comes from settings of the Framework One. For now, I would like not to dig into this, just it could be modified. For example, I used to shorter name do. For now, let's have a default action. And let's check what's framework is saying to us. Unable to find a view for main default action. So by default, if nothing is given here in address line, section called main, and in the item is called default. Let's create a view first. Minimal setup a view. So for this we need to create a folder views. The framework expects us to have this folder. Inside the folder views, let's create a folder main, the same as a section name, main. And inside main section, let's create a file default CFM. This is our view that will be shown to browser, to send to browser when action main default is called. So let's do it this way. H1 and hello world is here. Let's call this page again hello world. So the default action is look like this: action main default. Index CFM entry point, action variable called action, section main, which is mapped to the folder main, and item default, which is mapped to file default CFM. That's it. Let's add a second page. Under section main, let's add a second action. So call it second. Let's have it called chapter 2. This is second page of the application. And for this page, for default, this is home page of the application. How would we call this second page? Very easy. Main.second. Main.second. You see, this is second page of the application. Main second. That's way. Okay, so we have two pages. Let's create a link between two pages. Action main second. Go to second page of go to second page, and from second page go to home page. So we have a link click a link, go to second page, and from second page go back to home page. Framework One have a built-in function to build this index.cfm URL automatically. The function called build URL, and passes a name of the action which is required. Yes, and of course we need a CFA output. CFA output. As you see, nothing. Oops, something wrong. Main second default and second main default. Interestingly, that main default is really default page, so the link to this page may be set like this, empty string. So works the same. You see, no action here after index.cfm leads to the main homepage of the application. So this is very easy. And for now I would like to make a pause for tomorrow, and tomorrow I will show how to layouts are created. So thank you for watching. If you're interested to go quickly ahead, then go to GitHub, and on the GitHub find Lucee Minute, my project, and inside it you will have a code that I already written for this presentation. So thank you for watching, and more to come. Thank you.